everyone, it's Debbie Mirza, the author of The Covert Passive Aggressive Narcissist. And as I'm sure you're learning, a relationship with a covert narcissist is 100% one-sided, and it is all on you to keep these relationships going. Whether this is with a parent or a spouse or a sibling or some kind of relative or someone at work, a boss or coworker, when you look back on these relationships that hopefully you've gotten out of because you deserve way better than this, you will notice that what you thought you had, because with these relationships, when you're in them, you think you're so lucky. You think you have like this amazing dad or mom or spouse or sibling for a really long time because you're not noticing the very subtle manipulation and control and devaluing that goes on from these people. And you can think like, wow, we have such a great relationship. But what you're really feeling, what you're experiencing in the relationship is your life and your light. What I've noticed in getting to know and talking to a lot of targets, a lot of people who end up in these relationships with covert narcissists, is they are people with a lot of life and a lot of light in them. There are people with a lot of empathy, in fact, very empathetic and sensitive people, very nurturing people. So these people, when you're around them, they have a lot, they bring life into the room. And that is one reason the narcissist chose you, if this was who you were with romantically or as a friend or a boss or coworker, because they suck your energy and they look for people that have life and energy because they feed off of that for years. And as long as you're making them the center of attention, these relationships work. The minute you start beginning to get strong in yourself, beginning to have some boundaries, beginning to respect yourself more, these relationships start to become difficult and eventually end up not working out. In fact, I talked to a therapist one time who, for the last few years, she said, I don't know what's happening, but every single person that comes through my door is dealing with a narcissist. She said it just feels like an explosion lately. And she tracked, and I have to say, she's the only one I've heard this say, but it was remarkably accurate with all the stories I've heard, is that it's around the 15-year point in the relationship that things become kind of difficult, but you usually blame it on other things, circumstances. Oh, he or she is stressed about finances or doesn't enjoy their job, or they're stressed about family issues. You never see what's actually going on. And you'll attribute your own tiredness or sadness to other things. You don't notice that it's the person you're with. And so it's around the 15 to 18 year mark that she said they become really difficult to live with. And then it's the slow decline, and usually between the 24 year mark of the relationship, a divorce happens or a breakup happens. So like anything, this is not every single person. I've talked to people who have only been in relationships with covert narcissists for a couple years. And then some who have been in relationships for 30 and even 40 plus years. So anyway, I just found it interesting because a lot of people I did talk to, it was that timeline. So if that, you could check your own timeline and see if that fits. But again, not a hard and fast rule. So if you're like, well, that doesn't fit mine, maybe I wasn't with a covert narcissist, then forget it, what I just said. And trust yourself. Because you wouldn't be wondering, if you're in a healthy relationship, or if you're in a relationship with someone where it's just not working out, the thought never occurs to you that you might be with a covert narcissist, you'll never have someone say that person's acting really narcissistic, you know. So if you have those wonderings, if you have those thoughts, you're probably on the right track because you're a smart person and you wouldn't just pull this out of thin air. Why would you do that, you know? So these are very one-sided in that the light and life and love really was you. It was you, because that's what you have in you and that's what you brought to the relationship. Another way you can tell these are one-sided relationships is if you think back, anytime this person was down or struggling with something, you gave them your all, right? But when you were down or when you were struggling with something, did they give you their all? Were they all in? Like, oh my gosh, I'm noticing how tired you are. I'm noticing, you know, you've been sad a lot lately. This really affects me because I love you. How can I help? What can I do? What do you think? What's going on? You know, that doesn't happen with a covert narcissist ever. But when they're going through stuff, I guarantee you are the one to go, are you okay? What's going on? I've noticed this about you. How can I help? You know? These are extremely one-sided, but you don't notice because they do certain things that you're like, oh, I'm so lucky. I have, you know, a wife who cooks or a husband who cleans or someone who's good with the kids, because oftentimes they're good when they're younger, when they can give that parent the, you know, when they're still the center of attention, when your kids are younger. I should do another video on that, the whole more on parenting. But all to say, when you look back on these, just ask yourself, did you get from this person what you gave? And I guarantee if you were with a covert narcissist, you did not. And you didn't notice. And you had this belief that this was a wonderful relationship because you were truly in love. And you truly loved your parents. And you truly loved working with your boss. And you put everything you had into them. But they did not give you the same back when you really look at it. So I hope this helps with you gathering information and trying to figure out what went on, because I know these are the most confusing and crazy making relationships, and I am so sorry that you've experienced this. I also want to give you hope. The more you learn about this, the more you understand, the more you heal yourself, you are going to become a very strong, solid person, and you will never get involved with someone like this again. And you will be a better parent for it. You'll be a better partner for it. And you will end up, you know, you definitely go through a dark night of the soul for sure. But that life and light is still in you, and it will come back and it will shine brighter than ever. Now I'm getting teary. So sending you lots of love, lots and lots and lots and lots of love. True love, not the fake kind. And I hope you take really, really good care of yourself. I will talk to you soon.